Dating. So there's a lot of stigma around dating that I think is a little unnecessary and doesn't need to be there, but especially from someone post grad, like a lot of people I've been hearing view dating as kind of a waste of time after college because when you're in school, when you're in college, like social life is just there. You just go about your day and you interact with people. You go to class, there's parties, whatever it may be, social events, clubs. Like you're constantly meeting people, showing up to the same place, and you're naturally building relationships with people just because you're showing up to the same place. Whereas after you graduate and you start working, you kind of have to go out of your way to date. It's like you have to make time for it. So there are a lot of people who are like, yeah, I'm so focused on grinding my job and like making money that like I don't have time for girls. Like it's a waste of time. And I think there's a line there. Like there's some truth. Yes, there's ways to go about it that is wasting time, but that's not to say that you can't go out and meet people, you know? Um, my view on it is you should always, you should never go chasing girls. Don't go chasing women. Don't go chasing all these hookups or whatever, because that's going to end up being a waste of time. What you should be doing is going out and meeting people, period. Just building relationships. And when you're meeting women, or I mean for you girls, when you're meeting guys, don't go out with an agenda to bring someone home or to find a girlfriend or a boyfriend. Just go out there to meet people. I mean, the best relationships are the ones that happen naturally. I mean, look at your friends. You didn't go out like actively seeking a friendship. I mean, of course, everyone's trying to make friends, right? But I mean, it's different. You kind of just go out there, you talk to people, you get to know them, and then when you kind of see who they are, you're like, all right, this person's not my person, or hey, this guy's pretty cool, and you guys become friends. That's the angle that you should come at with dating. And personally, I'm not the biggest fan of online dating sites because that's kind of part of the chase. It's kind of like, you go on Tinder, you flirt with someone, you send some risky texts, hoping you get a date, right? Then you get a date, you go out with them. When you're going out with someone you meet on an online date, there's already an agenda there. Like you're both on that app for a reason. That's like to find someone, a significant other or a hookup or whatever. And, you know, that automatically kind of puts something over a little slight expectation for both of you over that evening. When in reality, it should just be about going out to meet people and make connections. And honestly, if you come at it from that angle, people are going to be more drawn to you because if you're just out there being charismatic, being yourself, being sociable, meeting people naturally, people will be drawn to you. People are drawn to confidence. People are drawn to positive energy. So, you know, what I think you should be doing after graduation is find something sociable that you can do that brings people together, that allows you to meet people. Now, going out to the bars is one thing. Like, yes, that can work, but I mean, every time I go out to the bars, I'm there to hang out with my friends. Like, yeah, maybe you can meet someone at a bar, but you kind of have to go out of your way, and it's kind of an unnatural mingling because, like, most of the time, other people are there with their friends. So you kind of got to interject that or wait for someone to be solo. It's not really an ideal scenario. So, joining a club or like joining some gym class, whatever it is, do something that enables people to show up to a place every week, a few times a week, whatever, kind of like class. So then you can naturally just meet people, build relationships, and then things will just kind of happen naturally from there. Now, the other side of the coin is you got to make sure that you're surrounding yourself with good people. And what I mean by that is people who are on a path, like on their best path. They're trying to do the best for themselves and they're genuine. And people who bring out the best in you. I mean, I've seen it happen countless times. Like, I've met chill people, but who weren't exactly in the greatest situations, and they were going down a path that I didn't see was good. Um, and people say that like you're most like your five closest friends, and like I know that sounds cliche, but it's actually true. I mean, the people you spend the most time with or like the things that you're most exposed to on a regular basis, they kind of shape who you are. And they kind of shape how you think as well. So you want to make sure that you're building relationships with people that propel you forward, bring out the best in you. And so when it comes to finding a significant other, whether it's a guy or a girl, that's kind of a hard line to see at first because sometimes you get blinded by the attractiveness or kind of whatever. But what I will say about if you do find someone, to those who think that dating may be a waste of time, is that if you do happen to meet someone and the connection is genuinely that real, you can't be someone who really lets that go because really special connections are extremely, extremely rare. So, I mean, currently for me, I'm in a very unique situation, and I know damn well there's a lot of people who would see my situation and be like, bro, I would never do that. And you know what? That's fine. Like, I don't expect everyone to make the choice that I did. But essentially, I went abroad my junior year of college, and I met a girl who lives in another country. And, at this point, I was in like a almost 3 year relationship in high school. And then, I was single for a while in college, did my thing, had some fun, whatever, but nothing was meaningful. I'm someone who's not a fan of one night stands, and that does go to say because of my first relationship, because that was meaningful. But yeah, one night stands just felt so empty and not worth it. So, I kind of cooled down doing that. But then while I'm abroad, I meet this girl. And at first, it's like casual, whatever. We're just hanging out, spending time together. We get along. But then as time goes on, I just really start to notice like it's been like a long time, like 3 or 4 years since I have felt anything like this girl was making me feel. And I was looking at the situation like I can't be getting into a relationship with a girl who lives halfway across the world. I mean, like that's so impractical. We're not going to be able to see each other like as much, or it's going to cost a lot of money to go see each other. But then I got to a point like halfway through the abroad trip where I was like, I'll be damned if I wake up 40 years, 50 years and just think to myself like, what would have happened if I tried to make it work with that girl I met overseas? What would have happened if I made that? If I, if that. So I don't want to be the guy sitting around when I'm older thinking about all these what ifs that I could have done. I want to find out for myself. And you know what? Like, I know what I signed up for. Long distance relationships aren't easy. But even for people in the same state who are long distance or same country, whatever. I'm doing this thing that's like across the world. Um, but I was like, you know what? Maybe this doesn't work out. Maybe I get my heart broken, but that's better than not knowing what happens. So I guess essentially where I'm going with this is that if the connection is really that, if it's that real, you got to give it a chance. And on another note, on the other side of it, where it's like, if you like someone and you don't know if they like you back, don't waste your time staying around them, like hoping that something happens. Like, if you feel some type of way about someone, tell them. And you know what? Yeah, the potential answer of them not reciprocating is scary. But, at some point you just got to get over that. And, let's say you do confess your feelings to this person and they turn you down and you get your heart broken, you feel like shit, and it sucks. But at least you can move on. At least you come out of it eventually. You learn something new, you move on, and now you don't waste any more time trying to follow that person or get that person or whatever. So it's also about making the most of your opportunities and not wasting your time. Like that's where kind of chasing girls or dating can be a waste of time. If you're too scared to let anyone know how you feel, you're just letting time slip by for no reason. Another thing, just piggybacking off of that, is that, don't measure your self worth based on the women you attract or how many women you attract because it's more than that. And also, a woman worth your time and energy will actually appreciate you for who you are, just from you being your authentic self. And you also got to let them earn parts of you. Like, of course, you got to be yourself and be genuine, but there's, I mean, everyone has personal sides to them, and you have to let people earn that out of you. If they prove to you that they're genuine and the connection is real and they appreciate your company and they make you like, yeah, then they can earn the personal stuff out of you. Um, so that's a kind of like goes hand in hand with surrounding yourself with the right people. And now, if you're at the point where you do want to get into a relationship with somebody, and you're my age and you're in 20s, you got to be realistic about it. You can't just, yes, dating is fun, like that is part of it, but you can't date just to have fun. You got to first of all let people in your life that really deserve it. And two, you kind of have to have some sort of direction. So to go back to my experience with my girlfriend, I didn't just start, like we're abroad, I like her a lot, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna make this work. Like, no, it wasn't that simple. When we got to the point where like we realized we really liked each other and we talked about the possibility of making it work, we laid some groundwork. I was like, okay, so, she's from Italy, and I had to sit there and be like, look, I got to put it out there. I'm not moving to Italy. Like, there's just no reality where that happens. That's not going to work for me. I have a foundation back home. And she said, well, actually, my goal is to leave Italy because there's nothing really there for me. And I want to do more. I feel like I can do more outside of Italy. And so, boom, right there, then I was like, okay, that's realistic. So then we kind of talked about what our rough future plans are. I mean, I hardly have a plan. I mean, who does at this age, early mid 20s? Like, who has a distinct plan? Like nobody really. But you gotta have some sense of direction. So we both kind of broke down to each other like what our 5-year plan is, and she wanted to go back to school. You know, take some more language classes, and then she was like, yeah, and then I want to try to leave Italy and move somewhere else. And mine was like, after college, I'm going to start working, saving up some money, living at home, and then I guess, maybe we can figure it out from there if you're trying to move over here. And she said that's a possibility I'm open to. So it's about having direction. Like we both talked about what was realistic, and that's when we knew we could try to make this work because if she said like I wanted to stay in Italy, like I'm not gonna just abandon everything I have going on here just because I like a girl. Like you can't just do that. You can't essentially throw your life away for a girl or a guy if you are a girl. Um, so it's important to lay that stuff out there. Like, you gotta date responsibly. You gotta build relationships responsibly. If, you know, like, I mean, this is kind of a terrible example, but like, if one of your close friends, like, doesn't go to college and, like, starts hanging in with a bad crowd and dealing drugs, like, and you're, trying to make a living, stable jobs, surround yourself with good people, like, that's not exactly a friendship or a relationship that's gonna go to a good place. I mean, so that's what I mean when you have to be realistic about these things. And lastly, going back into, you want to surround yourself with people that bring the best out of you. You also want them to be responsible as well. I mean, look, like, we all have our vices. I like to smoke weed from time to time. It's just a nice release. I like doing it at the end of the day. And, when I was in college, like, I'd meet girls and I'd find out that they really like smoking weed, and I was like, oh, bang, like, instant connection, like, that's sick. And, you know, my current girlfriend actually doesn't really like that stuff. And she's fine, like, with me doing it, but she doesn't feed into it. She's not like, oh, yeah, like, let's smoke, like, let's get hammered tonight. And the point of me bringing this up is, you don't really want someone that feeds into your bad habits. And that's not to say that, like, I have a bad drinking problem or a bad smoking problem, but it's like, there are some times where I do it more than others, and you don't want someone that feeds into that. You want well, I mean, of course, you don't want to be shamed for it either, but you want someone that cares about you enough to, like, not want you to do those things to an extreme. You want someone that balances you out. Kind of, like yin and yang. I mean, it's a perfect analogy. Like, you're not like total opposites, but you balance each other out, you know? Um, and I do the same for my girlfriend in other ways, but that's another thing you got to be mindful of. You don't want someone that feeds into your bad habits, whether it's drinking or smoking or, I don't know, being lazy. Like, if you're someone that gets lazy at times, like, it's probably best not to surround yourself with someone that is also lazy. I mean, my girlfriend pushes me at times, like in a good way, like, not pushes my buttons. Like, she pushes me to do better, and I do the same for her, and we support each other. And that's basically what you want to look for in, a genuine connection. So, to wrap everything up here at the end of the video, I guess in summary, what I'm trying to say in regards to dating, to make sure you're not wasting your time, just go out to just meet people and make connections. Don't have an agenda to try and hook up with people or going out to get a girlfriend or a boyfriend. And also, date responsibly and with intention. You want to have some direction of where you're going, where we're at an age where we're starting to form our futures, so we can't be super lackadaisical in the decisions that we make. And lastly, if you're giving your time and energy to people, make sure they're bringing out the best in you and that they deserve that the energy you're putting into them. But yeah, guys, that's going to do it for this one. Thanks for making it to the end. If you have any personal dating experience that you would like to share, feel free to drop it in the comments. And also, if you disagree with some of the stuff I said or had some stuff to add, I would love to read about it in the comments. But that's going to do it for this one, guys. Thank you again, and I hope you all have a great day.